Hey sis, what if I told you that some of the things you were taught in church, God never even said? You ever have a moment where you hear something in church and something in your spirit just goes, this don't feel right? But because it came from a pastor or a church leader, you felt like you had to accept it. Listen, I've been there. A lot of us were raised with teachings that weren't about God, they were about control. And I don't say that lightly. Many of us were taught things that made us afraid of God, made us feel like we had to earn His love, or made us believe that asking questions was wrong. If you've ever been made to feel like you're not good enough for God, or like you had to perform for His approval, this video is for you. Today, we're breaking down 3 major things that church taught us and what God actually says. Let's get into it. If you question your faith, you don't really believe. Just accept what we say. Don't question it. Doubt is dangerous. If you really have faith, you wouldn't be struggling. Have you heard any of these? Let me ask you something. Why do we act like having questions means we don't have faith? The Bible is full of people who wrestled with their faith. Moses doubted himself when God called him. David wrote entire psalms about feeling abandoned. Even Jesus cried out, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" And guess what? God never rejected them for questioning. John 20:27 says, "Stop doubting and believe." Jesus is speaking to Thomas, one of his disciples. You know what's crazy? Thomas had just watched Jesus perform miracle after miracle. He saw the resurrection happen and still he doubted. But did Jesus shame him? Did he say, "Well, guess you're not a real believer, Thomas"? No. Jesus said, "Come here. See for yourself. Touch the scars." God isn't afraid of your questions. Real faith is not about ignoring doubt. It's about seeking truth. So if you've been struggling with questions, don't run from them. Bring them to God. If you're struggling, it's because you're not praying enough. God only blesses those who are perfectly obedient. You need to fast and tithe more if you want God to move in your life. Do any of these sound familiar? This one right here, whew, I used to believe this with my whole heart. I thought that if I wasn't doing everything right, praying enough, fasting enough, tithing enough, then I couldn't expect God to bless me. Sis, let me free you real quick. God's love is not a paycheck. You don't earn His favor, you walk in it. Romans 5:8 says, "While we were still sinners, Christ died for us." That means before you got it together, before you even acknowledged Him, before you even cared, Jesus already made the ultimate sacrifice for you. And let's talk about the prodigal son. This man took his father's money, ran off, wasted it all, hit rock bottom, and then came crawling back home. Did his father stand at the door and say, "Prove yourself first"? No, he didn't. Luke 15:20 says, "But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion for him." God isn't waiting for you to be perfect before he blesses you. His blessings aren't a reward for good behavior. They are a reflection of his goodness. If you don't go to church every Sunday, you're backsliding. The Bible says, don't forsake the assembly. You need a pastor to stay spiritually accountable. Have you heard any of these? Okay, let's talk about that forsake not the assembly verse, because I know that one gets thrown around a lot. Hebrews 10:25 says, "Do not forsake the assembly of believers, but encourage one another." But let's look at the full context. This verse is about community, not control. The early church didn't even have church buildings like we do today. They met in homes, in small gatherings, wherever they could. Matthew 18:20 says, "Where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am with them." So let me say this loud and clear. Leaving a church does not mean you are leaving God. If church is a safe and healthy place for you, great. But if it's a place of harm, trauma, or control, you are not obliged to stay. God's presence is not confined to a building. So I need you to hear this. God's love is bigger than religion. It's bigger than church rules. You do not have to be afraid to question what you were taught. The truth will always stand. And if you're in this journey of unlearning fear-based faith, just know God is still with you. If this video spoke to you, don't stop here. I put together a free resource to help you get even deeper in your healing journey. My Finding Peace After Church Hurt guide will give you biblical encouragement, journal prompts, and real steps to heal. Download it now. The link is in the description box. Your healing matters. Don't let church hurt keep you from the peace that God has for you. Did you grow up believing any of these sayings? Raise your hand in the comments and let's talk about it. And if you want more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell.